So what's been cooking this summer as you get ready for the fight card coming up in the next couple of weeks?
Just been training hard last few weeks here, so just keeping it going, tapering down, starting to diet a little bit more, get the weight off, and getting ready to go.
What's the biggest you get now between fights?
I try not to get too big, but, try to stay under 180.
Yeah. How was the cut last time?
The cut actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, so just learning more about diet and nutrition over the years has been helping it be an easy process, and, it's not fun by any means, but it all times out and works exactly as planned and ends up being more comfortable than I thought.
Has there been one thing diet-wise that you learned, or a couple of things that, the last year or so that made it easier, that, maybe you look back and you're like, I can't believe I was doing the wrong thing?
No, it's not. I guess it wasn't that I was doing the wrong things. It's just that I was maybe dieting a little too strict, or thinking that you have to do this or you have to not eat fat. So it's dieting is really simple once you learn more about it, and just eating clean and healthy and eating the right times during the day and things like that.
Did you feel any different in that fight, your first time down, or did you feel like you had the same kind of energy you had at 55?
No, I felt great. I felt like I had, if anything, more energy because I had to do a lot more working out to get the weight off, so it got me in better shape. I always joke around, like, I don't know how the heavyweights do it, and maybe that's why a lot of them get tired, because they don't have to work out to get their weight off.
Yep.
But, being I got to get my weight down keeps me working out, keeps me training hard, and gets me in better shape even.
Tyson Griffin with us here on the Jewelers of Las Vegas MMA Insider Show. It's funny, I was talking to Marcus Davis a little while ago, and he's fighting in Miami this weekend, and he's a guy who walks around at like 200, fights at 170. He tried 155 one time, and he said, literally, if you go too low with your weight, and we've seen a lot of guys do this, it can affect you for like 2-3 months. Like, that's how screwed up his system was for the next couple of months.
Yeah, it's just all about doing it right, not breaking your body down, and I guess, breaking your nutrition down and getting unhealthy with it.
Did you get a chance to watch the fights this weekend?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think?
It was definitely some good fights, Yeah, I don't know which fights you're specifically talking about. They're great fights.
About the Gray fight.
Yeah, it definitely sucks seeing Gray lose, but he fought great. He dropped Frankie, and Frankie bounced back, and I ended up catching him. So, just part of the game when you fight with 4-ounce gloves.
Yep. For me, and I've covered fighting for a long time. You guys know this because you have to go in there and you put all the training time in there. I hope people understand. Losing sucks, but with the sacrifices you guys, put yourselves through between the dieting and the training and everything aiming towards the fight, I felt really bad for Gray because I think he knew he was in a good position there, and he just didn't press on the gas pedal in the second and third rounds.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely heartbreaking, when seeing people that you care about that much lose and knowing exactly what they put into it and stuff like that. But Gray's a tough guy. He's got all the skills in the world, and I'm sure he could grind his way back and get a title shot again if he wants to.
Well, I think he will. I mean, people have to remember he's 32, but he's still a relatively inexperienced guy. I mean, as his hands get better and they've improved so much, I mean, he's potentially still a future champ in that division.
Exactly.
So for you, as you watch, how much different is this Frank Edgar than the one you faced, whatever it is now, 4 years ago?
I think he's just learned, he's found his niche and he's found his style in MMA, really just using his footwork and his movement to his best of his ability, knowing he's a smaller fighter, not to get, I guess, letting people get a hold of him and out-grapple him. And he's probably stepped his training up and, going from probably when I fought him, being a part-time fighter, now a full-time fighter, just, tightens his game up that much more, doing the jiu-jitsu and boxing and things like that. So, he's just a complete fighter and better in every area.
Have you been in a situation in any of your fights like Gray was in that first round, and it was the second time it happened to Gray, where you're hitting a guy and you're like, why the hell is he not going out? And then how do you deal with that?
I've never really been in a situation. Once I've gotten guys hurt, I usually end up putting them away. So I don't, honestly haven't dealt with that. And, it's just one of those things.
Did you watch?
You got to compose yourself and, keep grinding forward.
Did you watch the Aldo Florian fight?
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
All
Pay
right.
close attention to that.
What'd you think of Aldo?
Fight actually went exactly as I thought. I thought Aldo would be a little bit too athletic for him, and Florence, shows that he's learning his wrestling and all that, but just can't teach people to be an athlete. And Aldo's a very athletic guy, quick on his feet, and at the same time, seeing some holes, and Aldo's very beatable, and I'd love to get that chance to prove that.
What kind of holes? Why do you think he's beatable?
Everyone's beatable. The question is just where and how. So, standing he's very aggressive. To be honest, he doesn't use his jab much and things like that. So, there's ways to pick him apart on that aspect, and allowing himself to be stuck against the fence as long as he did can get him taken down even more against someone that knows, how to get people down there on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I chuckle when a guy gets on a run, and we've seen this in almost every weight class, and it's happening right now with John Jones, and people have talked about it with Silva and GSP. Even early on, when they get in a run of like 4 or 5 dominant fights, immediately fans and some media people are like, all right, that's it. He's got to move to another weight class, and it's like, wait a second here. Like, I respect what Jose has done to this point, but I also look back at quality of opponents. Like, the WEC had some nice fighters, but you can kind of see the difference now that he's stepping up. The last 2 fights, Hominick has some holes, but Hominick did a good job against him. Hominick, I thought, outstruck him at different points, and obviously Kenny has some limitations, but Kenny's a good fighter, and all of a sudden now, the unbeatable, explosive, hey, he's going to steamroll through the entire division. It changes when you step up in competition.
Yeah, for sure, man. No disrespect to Kenny, but like I said, he's just not that athletic, and I think breaking his body down and bringing himself down to 145, if anything, might have hurt him and might have made him, less explosive or fast or whatever you want to call it. So, I think, the being in the UFC, and there's a lot of guys out there that deserve a shot and are going to definitely beat Aldo, and, with that time and beating Bart Palachewski, hope I'll get that chance.
So you're facing Bart at UFC 137 here in Vegas. Talk about Bart's style, and I don't know if you have a preference of who you'd like to fight, but I'm sure you're getting tired of fighting guys potentially who will try to take you down and lay and pray, and I don't think that's Bart's style.
Yeah, exactly. I think this would be probably the second or first fight that I've really had where I don't expect someone to take me down, which will be a nice feeling. But at the same time, you never know. I'm very confident in my stand-up. I feel like I hit hard, and maybe he will try to take me down, and I'm definitely going to be ready in every area. And he's just a tough guy. He's got a lot of experience, but I think I'm better in every area. I'm a little bit more athletic and quicker than he's going to be.
All right, well, tell us about what's going down up on the website. You got a charity that you're running. You got raffle tickets and a chance for folks to win tickets to UFC 137, and the proceeds are going to go to, Boys Town? Yeah,
Boys Town, Nevada is a local deal out here, and they help families and kids without families themselves. And I've done some work over there in the past and just wanted to help raise a little bit of money for them, and got a chance to win fight tickets to UFC 137 and passes to the after party. So it'll be tickets to the fights and then partying with me after. And $25 for a raffle ticket gets you a chance to win the tickets and the after party passes. And all the money goes to Boys Town, Nevada. So just raising money for a good cause and giving fans, I guess, a cheap way to win some really nice tickets to probably one of the most stacked cards in a long time.
It's a good fight card. You know what? It's a weird deal. They they had the disaster with Nick Diaz no showing and then to drop him. I actually think they wound up with better fights that I'm more interested in. I don't know about you as a fan, but I'm really fired up to see BJ Penn and Diaz go at it. And I think Carlos Condit's a pretty interesting matchup for GSP.
I definitely think those are interesting matchups, but as a fan, I'd actually rather kept it the other way around, to be honest.
Well, you know what? If Nick can get the job done against BJ Penn, I don't know what Nick does with Dana, but Dana likes him, and he's a patient guy with Nick, and I like Nick Diaz. I'd like to see him in there against GSP, and I think that'll be a dynamite fight down the road. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think it just comes down to what makes dollars make sense, and Dana's all about sense.
Yep. All right, one more time, where do they go? What the website is?
You can go to TYSONGRIFFIN.com, and there's a link there for the fundraiser, and there's buttons on the top of the fundraiser page to either buy your raffle ticket, or if you don't even want a raffle ticket and maybe you're out of town and another state and you just want to help donate, you can donate money as well.
Very good. Nice cause. We appreciate you coming on. We'll see you out there fight week.
All right, take care. Thanks for having me on.